Yeah, hello. Well, today I'm going to do an oil change on my 2009 120 series D4D Prado. Just of note, there's going to be a bit of banging, crashing, grinding, etc. and that's because the neighbours are doing some work on their house. Now, things you'll need for the oil change are minimum 7 litres of oil, because that's what you'll require, which includes the amount used for the filter change itself. If you're not replacing the filter for some unknown reason, you would only require about 6.7 litres. Today the oil I'm using, as you can see, is Magnatec diesel. It's semi-synthetic. I change my oil every 5,000 kilometres. This is about $72 at Super Cheap. I got a little bit cheaper at a Castrol distributor. 10 litre is obviously more economical than the 5 litre containers. Now, the filters I'm going to be changing today is obviously one, the oil filter. That's the part number. And the cost for them is $20. I'm also going to change the fuel filter inside the engine bay. That'll be this one here. That part number is this. Now, this one costs a little bit more. This one costs $67. Now, to change the oil filter, you'll need one of these. Got this from Toyota, and that costs about $20. There is a part number on here. I'll see if I can read it. 09228-07501. You'll also need some form of socket set. I've just got the 1/2 inch drive. I got the extension bars so I can get to the oil filter. A metric socket set. The Allen keys are for my bash plate, access cover, and also I bought one of these today for $13. It's an 8 litre oil pan, slim line, and that just allows it to slide under the vehicle just like that. Now, if you're asking why I got all this plastic, I'm currently in the process of spreading my camper trailer, which will be another job this afternoon. Alright, well, I've already ran the vehicle up this morning, got up to operating temperature. I've let it sit for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and now I'm just going to remove the access plate on my bash plate cover, drain the oil, let that drain for about 20 minutes. Now, this is my access plate on my bash plate for the sump drain plug. When purchasing bash plates, this is one of the options that's highly recommended, otherwise it's a lengthy process to remove the bash plates just to gain access to the sump plug. I'll undo that now. The access plate is being removed, and that's the sump plug there. It's a 14mm plug. I've cleaned around the area. I've inspected it prior to cleaning and there was no oil leaks. Now, that little pipe you can see on the right hand side, that is the drain pipe for the oil filter. So when you go to remove it, the oil that's left inside the filter will just drain down into this pipe and straight into your oil pan. Now, this vehicle is a 2-inch lift, which allows me enough room just to get underneath it. If you don't have a lift on your vehicle, then you'll have to either put on a ramp or so on, just to get enough access. Just ensure that the vehicle's level when you go to do it. Alright, we'll remove the plug. Now, because I have driven this vehicle this morning, the oil's going to be hot, so you have to be prepared for that. I'm also wearing gloves as well. And we'll remove that and let it drain. Now, I have to use a short extension with the ratchet on the end of it. And you might be able to see in there, I'm slowly removing this. and drop it out just like that. And as you can see, hardly any oil has gone on to me. And as you can see on the end of the sump plug, I've got the sump plug itself, and there's also a washer in there that'll need to be replaced also. I'll just let that sit there and allow that to drain. Now the location of the oil filter is, I'll try and zoom in on it, it's the black thing we can see there. I'll zoom in slowly. That's it there. Now with our oil filter removal tool, bear in mind this is going to be a little bit warm in here. Try and feed that down in there. Set it on top. Okay, that's on. And with a 7mm socket, place that over that like so. Give me a ratchet and I'll remove that. Okay, now I've removed the oil filter, I've cleaned the housing, and that's how it should look like. Nice shiny surface. There's no pieces of O-ring on the housing's face itself. Now I'll just prep the oil filter for it to go back on. Okay, with the new oil filter, that's what it'll look like. Now, states on here itself, installation procedure. That is to apply some engine oil to the gasket face, ensuring the gasket itself is seated in the groove. Tighten the filter another 3/4 of a turn with the dedicated tool after the gasket mates surface with the installation surface. And once you've finished placing the oil, run the engine for 3 minutes or more to check for oil leaks. Now ensure that when you go and get your new oil filter, you get a new sump plug gasket. And now you'll see there's a thick side of this blue material and the thin side. Just make sure that's the thick side's facing towards the sump itself. Okay, with the oil filter there was like a film of grease around the O-ring itself. I've wiped that off, put a clean coat of engine oil on it, placed it back onto the engine block and tightened it 3/4 of a turn as per the instruction on the filter. Now this Magnatech diesel comes with a filler tap inside the cap. Just need to get a Stanley knife and create a hole inside the bottle. Place that on. I've also made a bit of an extension hose so you don't spill oil everywhere. I've confirmed that I've tightened the sump plug. It only required less than half a turn to tighten it up. You don't want to over tighten it and strip it because that's bad juju. So tightening probably 12 to 4 on your ratchet would probably suffice. Alright, yeah, this will take about 7 litres. So put about 6 or so litres in and just continue to let it sit for a minute or two, check dipstick and fill up to the fill mark. Probably a smidge over, because when you start the engine up, the oil filter itself will probably take 100 mils or so. And then as the engine's warming up, just check for oil leaks. Okay, I've finished filling the engine with oil. I've taken the dipstick out. Now you can see there's 2 holes on the dipstick, or 2 dots. You can see it's just past the second dot, the oil. You can't, the other side is a bit oil all over it, just how it runs down inside the tube. So turn it over and you'll probably see it better. Now just a matter of starting up the engine, let it run for a minute, check for leaks and we're done. Now I'm just about to start the vehicle. The oil light is just here next to the stick, so you'll see that come on. The oil light's on. Turn the radio off. We'll start the vehicle and that should come off after less than 5 seconds. 1, 2, and there we go. So that's fine. If it still hasn't gone out after 5 seconds, turn the engine off, double check everything. Alright, we'll go out and check for leaks. filter. Zoom in. Happy with that. Check underneath. Zoom into the filler probe, might be able to see it from here. So happy with that. Engine's not knocking, so I have to put the inspection plate back on and we're finished. Hopefully this will help other people. Thank you. Okay, I've taken the factory fuel filter out, undo the 2 bolts here, or 2 nuts I should say. They're 12mm. I've disconnected the top plug on the filter, and there's also a bottom plug on the bottom of the filter. Now once I've taken it out, I've drained the fuel, and I've used one of these to remove it from the fuel filter assembly. Now once I've done that, I just have to remove these 2 bolts here, remove the bottom bit and replace it with a new filter, and we'll do that now. Now I've loosened those 2 nuts off using, what have we got here, 8mm socket by the looks. Now it's got a rubber gasket there, you just have to put a screwdriver in here and here, wedge it apart, and that'll come off like so. So that's it there. This is what the new filter will look like. So it's just a matter of unscrewing that, putting that on the new one and cleaning it all up, and we'll do that now. Now I've loosened this off. I used multi grips, vice grips, whatever you want to call them, adjustable grips. I've used a oil filter removal tool. Just sat on the ground like so. I loosened that off. I don't think this filter's been changed since I've had the vehicle. And I've done 105,000 Ks. Alright, we'll put this onto the new one and we'll go from there. Alright, so I've removed the water watch module, if you want to call it that. Discard the old O-ring. There's the new O-ring that comes with the new fuel filter. That's just a look inside. It's got an element at the top and so on. Alright, so I'll do that now, reinstall it in the engine. I'll show you the priming sequence. Now you'll find when you put the filter on, the bottom assembly on, and you go to mount it, the drain pipe for the water is facing the wrong way. So as you can see, undo this bit, this will lift up. It's a bit hard to do this one hand, I'm just going to put the camera down. That comes off, so this is like on a keyway. Now the position, if you're looking from the end of the filter assembly, if you're looking down, you just have it facing that way, just off centre from that pipe. Push that down, screw that back on. Okay, I've had a short bit of hose on here, placed that into a container, primed it until diesel started coming out. Just have to prime it a few more times, say 10 times, and start it, and if it stops then prime it a few more times and restart it, and it should run after that. So we'll do that now. And just a matter of priming, it's just a matter of pressing down on this. Let's do that about 10 times. So that's gone firm. Alright, we'll try and start it and see how it goes. Okay, it's running pretty good. Had no issues with the startup. I've got a rag and a screwdriver and just cleaned up any diesel that I did spill when I took the hoses off. I've checked the fitting here, here. Also checked around the lip here, and also down at the base. And you can see the alignment of the outlet for the water. You can put a little hose on that and drain into the container for fire. Okay, that was fairly easy enough to do. I'm happy with that. The hardest part is removing the water separator module, or the alert module, whatever you want to call it. And as I said, it's probably the first time it's been changed since I've got the vehicle brand new. And from now on I'll probably replace this every 20,000 or so. They say you don't have to replace it until the warning light comes on for water, but yeah, that's pretty. Alright, hopefully this helps other people. Thank you. That's it.